Hi everyone, welcome to Candid Headlines. My name is Ariane, and today we're going to have another episode of our How to Speak Better series. We live in a new normal, and a lot of us are not allowed and should not face each other or stay close to each other. So, most of us have to practice physical distancing when it comes to work, social interactions, and even speaking to our loved ones and friends. Most of it will be done online. And so, since we are talking online, most of these communications will be done through video messaging apps, video calls, Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, and all of those online tools. All right, so today's topic is going to be all about communicating better during this new normal, wherein we are communicating via online video calls and voice calls. This is especially important for all of you guys who need to work from home so that we can still be able to exude that professional attitude, that professional image when we are communicating with our colleagues. Okay, so tip number 1, think before you speak. Nowadays, since we are just going to be communicating through online means, we will only be given a limited amount of time to express ourselves, especially if it's in Zoom meetings wherein you'll only be called upon or given a certain amount of time in order to say what you have to say. So you have to make sure that when it is your turn to speak, you have thought about specifically what it is that you are going to say or express. Because right now, since we're on the digital world, a lot of times we'll just be talking through voice calls or video calls. And communication is a lot more challenging because we don't have the physicality anymore. Like when we are in an actual physical meeting with somebody, we can express ourselves further through gestures, our posture, the way we act, and the way we navigate through a physical space. But now, since we're only talking through audio or video means, you have to make sure that whatever it is that you want to say, you've already thought about it clearly and that you've organized your thoughts so that when it is your turn to speak, everything will come out clear and well thought out. All right, tip number 2. Next, make sure to modulate your voice and use the right volume. A lot of us will be communicating these days through voice calls or video, just like I've said. So for a lot of us, that means using headphones or earphones or earpieces or AirPods. That affects how we hear other people, and of course, that affects how we talk to other people as well. Because, for example, if you're in a physical setting and you're talking to somebody, you're here and the person you're talking to is over there, you tend to modulate your voice more. You breathe and you make yourself sound a little bit louder. But since we are talking through our phones, our laptops, and all of our gadgets, this time things tend to be a little bit more closer to us or personal. So sometimes people tend to whisper, or when the mic is too close to them, they whisper and say, yes, sir, good morning. Or their voice is too soft because it's more intimate. And especially because we are at home. So the way we speak and the way we express ourselves is much different than if we were to meet with other people in person. As opposed to when we are meeting physically in person, we see the actual person in front of us and are able to calculate the space between yourself, and the person or the people you're talking to. It's easier to adjust your volume and how you throw or how you exude your voice. Okay, so right now, it's a little bit tricky because the people you are talking to are kind of nearer to you because their gadgets will be near to them, but at the same time, you can't just really whisper because it will sound a little bit too creepy if you're just whispering and you are speaking directly into their ear, like, hi, good morning. Yes. Do not whisper. Do not make yourself sound small. especially if you want to sound more credible, or if you are, let's say, doing an online job interview or through a voice call, then you have to breathe, use your diaphragm, use your meeting voice. I mean, the way you would use your voice still as if you were in an actual meeting. But at the same time, make sure that you don't shout. Because again, the people you are talking to will be listening to you through their headphones, their AirPods, earpods, and you will be much, much closer to them. And if you shout or speak too loudly, it will be such a shock to them. It will be too much, and they'll end up getting jolted because they're surprised with the loudness of your voice. So you have to find the perfect balance between the loudness and the softness of your voice so that it still seems like everything is natural, not too intimate, but not too shouty. Just find the perfect middle ground. All right, tip number 3, make sure to listen carefully. These days, a lot of us will be doing our work through Zoom meetings. So for those types of communications, you will have to speak in turns. So it's hard if you try to overlap one another or speak on top of each other. It will be much, much harder to understand each other or get information if everybody is speaking all at once. Usually, they will be on mute. So the people you are meeting with, some of them will be on mute, some of them will be not on mute and be the one speaking. But when it's not your turn to speak, you have to make sure that you are listening carefully and still taking down notes. Now, actually, this is a piece of advice that is still very much applicable if you were in an actual physical meeting. But it's just much more trickier now because, again, like what I've said earlier, we don't have the extra communication tools of physicality, gestures, body language, and all of that. So you just really have to rely on whatever screen you're looking at, and of course through the audio or what you're hearing from the person or people that you are speaking with. Okay, so let's review our top 3 tips for today. Number 1, think before you speak. Number 2, use the right volume and modulate your voice appropriately. And then number 3, make sure to listen. All right, that's it for today. I hope that these 3 tips will be very helpful to you in our online communication in the new normal. Hopefully, things will get better soon and there will be a cure and we'll be able to meet each other again physically and be able to shake each other's hands. But for now, let's make the most of what we have and the tools that we have at our disposal, and let's stay healthy while communicating better. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.